Hey everyone, it is Friday, May 19th, which means it is the start of the Victoria Day long weekend here in Canada. The time right now is 12:55 p.m. and the temperature is around 16 degrees Celsius. And I'm here at College Park. And this is the unofficial start of summer. I don't think it officially starts until June 21st or June 22nd. And for this one, I'm going to head on up to College Street, and then I'll walk west along the entire downtown portion of College Street. And I'll just cross over maybe into the start of Little Italy. And maybe I'll finish up at Manning Avenue. And they're installing some separated, whoa, it's loud here. They're installing some separated and protected bike lanes along College Street. And they run from, I think, Bay Street over to Manning. So that's where I'll end this at Manning. And those tiles around the IKEA sign there have already been cleaned or pressure washed, but they don't really look it. I was watching him do that over the last several minutes. So this is Yonge Street here. I'm going to head north up to College. And then, as I said, I'll head west from there over to Manning. And then I'll take us across the western half of downtown. And I think the stretch along College will be a little over 2 kilometers or so. This here is Yonge Street. I don't know why I'm crossing over to the east side. There's a look to the south. So this is north up the east side of Yonge, but just for a block and a half or so, and then I'll
do you feel like
head along College. And I believe this construction here on the left is to build a new entrance to College subway station, as well as expand the subway platform. I think they're adding a second platform and adding elevators. And this is new, this Korean bistro. And I came downtown this morning to record a live stream. And I just recorded a silent video heading up to College Park. And I think I'll use that one to play in the background of a home live stream. And I thought, since I'm down here, let's get another video in. So here we go. So to the right here is Carlton Street, and to the left is College. So Carlton heads along the eastern side of downtown and it ends at Riverdale Park. And about 20 minutes ago, there was a guy here sitting with a pigeon in his hands. That was kind of interesting. But this is west along the south side of College. And this walk will take us past the University of Toronto St. George campus, as well as the north end of Chinatown, briefly, and the Kensington Market neighborhood. That's not a bad deal. But you will notice there are no bike lanes along this stretch of College. And they're also not along Carlton. I'm not sure why they don't go all the way across. But starting in March, the city started upgrading the existing bike lanes along College, which I'll be walking by in a block or so. And they're making them proper separated bike lanes. So we can see some of the progress on that. It's supposed to finish up by the end of spring, which I guess would be towards the end of June. There's the Toronto Police Headquarters. And this is Bay Street coming up. I just left my car there. I'll come back and get that. Doesn't even have a proper license plate. I'll have to get on that. And it doesn't look like I'm going to make the light cycle. If I wanted to, from where I started this, I just could have came through this way. But I felt like taking a detour around Yonge for some reason. So this stretch of College should be around 2 kilometers or so. Although College runs west to just past Little Portugal. It kind of dips south and merges into Dundas Street, or ends at Dundas Street. Here's the quote-unquote bike lane in its current state. Really just a painted gutter. Oh, I regret walking the way I did. We missed that guy. He was wearing a pretty neat looking costume, I guess. So between Bay Street here and Spadina Avenue, they're going to be adding curb separation. So at least there'll be a proper barrier between cyclists and vehicles. Although between Spadina and Manning, they're actually elevating the bike lanes. So they'll be at sidewalk height. And still separated by a curb, of course. Not sure why they're not elevating this stretch. But it's nice to see the city is actually serious about properly implementing bike lanes and not just painting line on the road and calling it a day, although sadly that's the case for far too many of our bike lanes. But we're getting there. This is Elizabeth Street.
You just need to buy them.
This is the Mars Medical Discovery Tower on the left. So it doesn't look like they've done any work on this end, although I guess this is the easiest part. You literally just have to lay down some curbs. And I think these bike lanes were installed back around 2009, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't look that one up. That's the date rattling around in my head. Let me know down in the comments if that's the case or not. One way to find out is you can always go on Google Street View and kind of go back in time and see when the bike lanes appeared. Although if they're prior to 2007 or so, you're not going to have much luck. And as I mentioned, this is the start of the Victoria Day long weekend. That's a federal Canadian public holiday, and it's celebrated on the last Monday preceding May 25th. That's in honor of Queen Victoria. I think it's a uniquely Canadian holiday. I'm not sure if anyone else in the Commonwealth does it. But it's been observed here since 1845. Although a lot of people refer to it as May 2-4 weekend. 2-4 referring to a 24 case of beer. A lot of people get up to the cottage if they're lucky enough to have access to one on this weekend. It's often the start of cottage season. A lot of the people just get out of town. So even though not everyone is working in the office every day these days, these Fridays before a long weekend are always particularly light. I never liked taking them off because it was always kind of an easy day of work. It's usually just people sitting around chatting with one another, not working very hard. Often your boss wouldn't be there. There's a look north at Queen's Park and the Provincial Legislative Assembly. And at this intersection is Queen's Park Station. There is a 506 Carlton streetcar. Although that one is not going all the way to Main Station. It's only going to Broadview Station, so that's short turning. We'll see if we can catch one that's going all the way. If the next one isn't, that means there's probably work over on Gerrard Street. It's called the Carlton streetcar, but it spends more time on College Street and Gerrard Street, although I guess Carlton is in the middle of the two. There's an E.J. Lennox design building, the Stewart building. And behind Casa Loma and a number of other notable buildings in the city. And on the north side of College here is the University of Toronto St. George campus. And as you can see, the bike lane is being fairly well utilized. Although people are more likely to use a properly separated bike lane. So those numbers should be increasing. This is McCall Street.
This is a new lane. It could be
Friday, $1 per ounce of wine. I don't know if that's good. There's a look up into the heart of the St. George campus. There's a very nice tree-lined street. That's Henry Street. And a nice outdoor patio. I think it's supposed to get up to 19 degrees today. So the nice weather has returned. So this is St. George Street on the right and Beverley Street on the left. Another street which features these painted gutter bike lanes.
They're giving him like
and you'll notice a lot of e-scooters on the streets. I'm a fan of them and micro-mobility. I'm just not a fan of when people don't ride them properly. But if you follow the same rules that you do when you're on a bike, I have no issues with them. Even though our idiotic city council did not adopt the province's e-scooter pilot program, something a number of other major cities have adopted.
Roman is
But the police don't seem to care. And we're at Huron Street. And it's something like riding alongside a truck like this that I think is a bit unsettling for a lot of cyclists. That's for having a properly separated bike lane. Can really help with boosting ridership. So from the next major intersection onward, there should be a raised and separated bike lane in about a month from now. The Lillian H. Smith Toronto Public Library branch. So this is Spadina Avenue coming up and the north end of Chinatown. And that type of e-bike is actually not supposed to be in bike lanes or on multi-use trails. I'm not sure what the best solution is, but I really think it should be weight-based in terms of what's allowed where. Again, I don't know how you determine that. And also, some bikes carry the rider's weight, which can obviously fluctuate dramatically. So maybe that's not the best solution. But generally speaking, if it looks like a scooter, and it just has those kind of T-Rex vanity pedals on it, it's supposed to be ridden on the streets. That guy there, he is not using the pedals on that thing ever. I'm not complaining, just pointing that out. I actually don't mind they ride in the bike lanes too, as long as they ride courteously. Alright, so from here on, this is supposed to be raised and separated properly. They've still got some work ahead of them. I think I read somewhere that College Street here is the street where the most Doring incidents happen, where cyclists end up getting smoked by someone popping open their door without looking. And further into Little Italy, Also have that ridiculous scenario where cyclists are kind of protecting parked cars by riding outside of them instead of the other way around. There is TNT Supermarket. And a big commotion was made at their newest location up at Fairview Mall. Apparently there was a very large lineup to get in. I didn't know a supermarket would be that exciting. There used to be several Canada Computers locations here, but now we are down to one. This used to be the place to get PC parts. I think most people just go to Newegg and Amazon these days. And it's Augusta Avenue, so everything to the left is part of Kensington Market, which is a really cool neighborhood. I'll probably head through there during the first pedestrian Sunday this year. Really, this street here should be pedestrianized, but for some reason the city wasn't able to pull the trigger on that. And this church here is known for being particularly welcoming to homeless and allowing them to set up on their lawn. And on a related note, that lineup over there is for a food bank, and that's made the news lately. Grocery prices and profits are at an all-time high. So is the use of food banks. That's the Port York Food Bank. Well, that streetcar is only going to Parliament. Yeah, I don't think they are going all the way to Main Street. And none of these drivers should be alongside the streetcar here. Unless they were there at the same time, in which case they should just be waiting for the lights to stop flashing before they start moving again. That operator was obviously taking exception to that one motorist. I heard that work began on this going back to March 6th. Yeah, they've got a month to finish and we haven't even come across any work being done. Well, that's sad. This Donbury place is closed up. An interesting way to do your banking. Oh, look at this. Just on the other side of Bathurst. We've discovered progress. Awesome. And right when I cross Bathurst, I'll be leaving downtown. This has always struck me as an intersection that should have a subway station. On what line? I don't know. That's got a couple of streetcars intersecting it. This is pretty cool, although it doesn't look like they've paved over the whole thing just yet. I am definitely going to make my way along here recording a video once it opens. It doesn't look wide enough to be a two-way cycle track. So it looks like they've just done it on the south side here. And we're gonna have to take care of the north side. So this next street coming up should be Palmerston. So this is Little Italy. Taste of Little Italy, June 16th to 18th, 2023, Bathurst to Shaw Street. Looks like they're getting to work on the other side. I'll probably be doing a little Italy and Portugal walk at some point. So I'm not going to go through all Little Italy now. This is Euclid Avenue. So Manning should be just up ahead here. I'm starting to think what I want to have for lunch. And just like that, the sanctity of protected bike lanes comes to an end, and you're now forced to contend with parked vehicles. They really just should have bit the bullet and done all of college, and Carleton for that matter. As over here, you don't even have bike lanes, you just have these ridiculous sharrows painted on. Alright, I see a burrito, boys, but I also see a streetcar coming. I'm going to take that streetcar. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed this one, walking along College Street. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing below the video if you wish to say thanks that way. And happy Victoria Day long weekend to everyone in Canada, and I hope everyone else has a good weekend. But I'm about to hop on this streetcar now, so thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.